Back with a new Bleach review and rating video, and this week's episode was most definitely the best so far. This is the episode that is definitely going to get Bleach pulling in even more viewers. This episode is the episode that really stamps and says one of the big three is back, and this is why we were known as one of the big three. This episode was just an insane rollercoaster, and I can see that fans really liked it. This is no doubt a solid rating episode, but before we get into the review, if you're a fan of Bleach and currently watching Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, be sure to subscribe, leave a like and turn on that bell icon to be notified every time I drop a new Bleach video, which of course drops every Tuesday once a new episode is out. If you're a new member to the channel, feel free to leave a comment saying, "New subscriber" or "Hey. Welcome." So the episode starts off with the Soul Reapers learning that Ichigo is coming to Soul Society, and we get to see the reaction from captains, Rukia, Renji and a few other people. This is when Aken sees that he got disconnected from Ichigo, and he is no longer feeling his spiritual pressure. While this is happening, we see this big Soul Reaper break down the roof of the building and starts to attack Aken and the rest of the guys, but what they don't know is that he is being controlled by a Sternritter. We then see Ichigo fighting to break out of the jail he is put in by Quill Jopi. Ichigo also hears the crying and screaming coming from Soul Society and gets even more frustrated that he can't go save them. Quill Jopi then tells Kisuke what the J stands for, and that is the jail that gives him the power to trap anyone. As he was about to kill Chad and the rest, we see him get cut real clean, and we see a sword to Kisuke's neck, and I can say for sure this had fans so pissed that they didn't get to see who that was. I just can't wait for the reveal and see some of my favorite reactors react to that moment. We then head back to Byakuya fight and we see him struggling against this guy. This is when Quincy uses his ability on Byakuya, which brings people fear alive and makes people fear him. Honestly, it's a really overpowered ability. This guy then answered many fans' questions about if they can use the stolen bank ace, and he did exactly that on Byakuya. This guy was beating the shit out of Byakuya and Renji steps in and gets absolutely blown by the next Sternritter. Rukia also get messed up after getting distracted by Byakuya. We see Byakuya blown to the wall and it's like he is done for and is about to pass away. After this we get to see Kenpachi bringing 3 Sternritter he defeated with pretty much ease to Yua Batch, and we get to see the other Sternritter's ability, nothing really crazy besides the one that made the guy turn into Kenpachi himself. Of course Kenpachi goes straight for Yua Batch and Kenpachi always goes for the strongest opponent. We then see Hisagi goes up against this Sternritter, and we then find out that he is the same one who killed Yamamoto Lieutenant. This is when Yamamoto steps in, and this is one of the dopest and coldest scenes in anime for the year, and even in Bleach. But before we got that, we get a nice backstory of Yamamoto and his lieutenant. After the backstory was done, this guy thought he could take down Yamamoto with his lieutenant Bankai, but how wrong he was, and Yamamoto says it was weak compared to when his lieutenant used it, and Yamamoto burns this guy effortlessly. Yamamoto then heads to battle, and this then boosts all the captains and lieutenants to fight even more. So in the post-credits scene we see Kenpachi is actually defeated by Yua Batch, and we see Yamamoto finally comes to face him off. This episode was totally insane and outstanding in all aspects. This is most definitely by a mile the best episode so far. With Yamamoto jumping in action, to Byakuya fighting and getting defeated by his own Bankai, to even Kenpachi defeating 3 Sternritters with ease and going to face Yua Batch. This episode definitely had a buzz in the community when it came out, and you can see exactly why this was the case. Most reviews and rating videos, I don't normally know the rating I will give the episode or movie or whatever I'm rating, but with this case, a very rare moment of me knowing what I am going to rate this episode is now. Of course you still got to wait for the end of the video to see what rating that is, but I'm pretty sure some of you will be able to get it. This episode, like all the others, had great animation, and with the fight like Byakuya going on, it was good we got some really good animation to see that. However, what really made this episode even better when it came to the animation definitely got to be when Yamamoto made his move. Honestly, that moment looked so good. Even when he burned that Sternritter into absolutely nothing, that looked so good. I was so happy that Yamamoto got his get back for his lieutenant, and this part definitely gave me a great video idea that you can watch on the channel really soon. The music in this episode was fire as hell. Bleach music always hit, but this episode the music fitted perfectly and definitely added to making this episode great. The right OST at the right time definitely impacted this episode on a positive side. The shocking moments like when Byakuya was getting messed up pretty bad against the Sternritter, and of course, when the Sternritter himself decided to his Byakuya own Bankai on him, And this also answered a lot of people question about whether the Sternritter will be able to use the Bankai when they steal it, and that definitely seemed like the case here. The reaction of Renji and Byakuya when this guy used the Bankai definitely was priceless. The reaction to Rukia when she felt Byakuya was getting defeated added more to the fight. Even when Renji attacked the Sternritter and the next Sternritter sent him flying and Rukia getting defeated definitely added to the Byakuya fight, I felt like. Also, the reaction to Ichigo coming to Soul Society was really exciting, but the reaction that really made this episode even better is without a doubt when Yamamoto jumped into action and all the captains felt his spiritual pressure and knew that he was furious made this episode even better. We then see all captains get motivated to continue fighting, and they even influence the other Soul Reapers to continue fighting. This definitely changed the momentum the Quincy's had on the fight. Things are definitely going to be different with the fights right now. To add on this episode, we get to see a backstory of Yamamoto and his lieutenant, and even that part of the episode looked really good and was pretty enjoyable, and it wasn't even long that we got frustrated, so definitely did good with that one. This episode definitely was something to talk about, and by the amount of reaction I'm seeing getting mad views and the talk about this week's episode in the community definitely shows you how good this episode was. I feel like Yamamoto is definitely going to have Bleach fans going crazy every moment he has in this final arc. Honestly, I can see why that is the case, cause of course it is known that Yamamoto is really strong, one of the strongest Soul Reapers out there, and being the head captain definitely gives more hype to his name. Even with the few badass moments he had in the past, Yamamoto never really showed off, and of course as a reader of the manga, I know he is going to pop off even more, so I can't wait for people's reaction to that. What makes Yamamoto moments so much better is how little we get to see him in action, so when we do see him in action, it just sends all the fans insane and full of excitement. So definitely I know fans can't wait to see more of Yamamoto. This episode was most definitely the best and outstanding from all the rest. The more impactful episode and definitely the one that had fans talking a lot. With that being the case, you know the rating is definitely going to pop off the charts. So without holding you all any longer, it is with great pleasure to give Bleach episode 5 a solid and perfect rating of 10. Best episode so far, and I can't wait to see what will happen next episode and also what episode will top this week's episode. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave a comment for any series you all think I should watch and make a video on. Appreciate everyone, stay safe and continue going for your dreams and goals. Till next time, stay chillin'.